In this video, we'll talk about correlations and SPSS output. We'll start with the question of, does SAT score correlate with GPA? And my apologies for showing you all of this, but you'll see in just a moment why we do that. Please assume or imagine that SAT score can be 0 as a score and it's continuous ratio data. You can look at another video for more information about that. But you'll know that SAT score and GPA are both continuous variables, or we're going to treat them that way, and something that we can do a correlation with. Let's imagine we have this hypothetical data. Let's say there's someone named John who had a 700 SAT and a 2.0 GPA. And by the way, it's really helpful if you can create your own data, I have found, and others have as well, and practice statistics this way. If you really know how to do a good example for yourself, that means you probably understand what you're doing. You understand what kind of data can be used for different tests. Anyway, let's get back to this example. Let's imagine there's also other people in our data, Paul, George, and Ringo, and let's assume that they all have SAT scores from about 700 to 740, and let's assume GPA is 2 to 2.2, something like that. Imagine we also have Daphne, Scooby, and Fred, who have different SAT scores, 740, 760, 1100, 1200 with Velma, and different GPAs, 2.2, 2.2, 4.0, 4.0. Sometimes the 0.0 doesn't show in these kinds of examples. And lastly, let's assume Shaggy has 1200 SAT score and GPA of 4.0. So we take this data and we put it into SPSS. Be sure you've downloaded SPSS and figured out how to open it. Sometimes you have to make a note that you have to tell it you're going to do a new data set, and there's a way to do that. One way to get your data into SPSS once it's open is to type the names and the information for everyone. So the names go here, SAT scores are here, and GPA is here. Now notice we lost the 0.0. Let's say I want that. I can go down here to variable view, and I can click on the decimals. So let's say I want GPA to have 2 decimals. That's how I do it. I also want to make sure this is correct. Name is a string variable. Yep, SAT score is numeric and GPA is numeric. So I check that. Looks like we should be able to do and run a correlation. So look up here, you see Analyze. You're going to click on Analyze to run a statistical analysis. Look for Correlate. See it right there? And off to the side, there's something called bivariate, which you probably can't see. Bivariate correlation. Click on that. This is what comes up, SAT score and GPA. So you can click on each variable, or you can do it all at once and move it over to this section, and then push OK. Notice it's going to do a Pearson. It's going to give us a Pearson correlation coefficient, and this is two-tailed. If you understand that from previous classes, that's great. So let's wait and see what we get. So here's the correlation. It says SAT score for a Pearson correlation, SAT score and GPA. It's going to give us SAT score, and SAT score is a 1.0 correlation. Don't worry about that. You just want to know SAT score and GPA. What does that look like? It's 0.990. That's our correlation coefficient. Significance is 0.000 for the 9 people, the N, in this example. This is really great data. It shows we do indeed have a strong positive linear association. And I almost never have this in my data, so I'm pretty excited to see this, but I guess we also created it this way. If we ran an XY scatter plot, this is what our data would look like. We'd see some people have data that has an SAT score between 600 and 800, and they also have an GPA between 2 and 2.5. So you see, once you take a look at that and make sure you're familiar with that. And some people have a score between 1,000 and 1,200. And so what does the person who has 1,100 as their SAT score have as their GPA? 4.0. What's the person with 1,200 SAT score have as their GPA? 4.0. So again, are the two variables correlated statistically and significantly? Yes, they are, according to our SPSS printout. This is a result statements that you can include in a results section of a research report. SAT score is correlated with GPA. The R equals 0.99, comma, the P is less than 0.05. The R value and the P value are italicized, by the way. Another example might be there's a strong statistically significant linear correlation between SAT score and GPA, comma, R equals 0.99, comma, P less than 0.05. If you need more information about what these means, you can see a different video or go online for more information. Remember that correlations range from -1 to +1, at least the correlation coefficient, and you want to see a high or very low value. You want your R to be either very close to 1.00 or very close to -1.00 to be significant. If your R value is close to 0, it means you don't have a strong or any linear relationship. You also want your p-value to be less than 0.05. The smaller it is, the better for you if you're trying to show that you have a statistically significant association. Here's a reminder of what we did. We took data that looked like this. You typed it in yourself, or we typed it in ourselves into SPSS. We got this output. We saw this scatter plot. And this is how we found out from this output that we have a statistically significant linear relationship between SAT and GPA. As SAT score increased, so did GPA.